Today we found a problem with the house. And as of right now, Tim and Tammy have already pulled the crown molding off. And why is that, Tammy?
Because we're assessing the water path. So it was leaking right here, or here today.
Yeah.
And you can see a small leak here, but over here is damp.
There was water right on that far left corner though.
Yes. Over here is a lot of dampness, and over here is one line. So we think that the water damage is actually coming from here, and it eventually found its way through over here. So we're gonna
see some as far as over here too.
Yeah, we're gonna take out the wall here and see if we can see the joint between the tub and the sink at this location. And if the joint is here, then we're gonna run water and see if it's leaking there. And if not, we'll remove the whole section here. But we gotta find where the plumbing's running, and I believe it's running in this wall. So by removing the drywall here, we'll know for sure if it's running in this wall, and then we'll be able to see which direction to go with the ceiling.
There's a bathroom right here, and we tested everything and determined that it's the sink and the bathtub. Water that's running through there, coming through those drains is what's leaking down here. And then the bathroom in Arianna and I's room is actually right here. But we tested everything in there and there's no leaks there. No leaks from toilets, it's just the sink and the bathtub in the hallway bath here. So, yeah.
Big Bertha, here she
Fun
comes.
and exciting times.
Unfortunately, she's not gonna just take a hammer to the wall because there's plumbing in it. So it will be a process. Well, it has to be here somewhere.
So I think I'm headed in the right direction. This is not dry by any stretch of the means.
Well, that's not good. So what is this tool that you're using called?
I am afraid to say that it might incriminate my knowledge. Here, it's a Dasco Pro
Hold on.
Scraper Pry Bar.
Scraper pry bar.
I'm using it because it's small and it's very, very narrow here, so it won't damage the rock. The
Gotcha.
good news is they have a really well-built wall so far.
And this hammer is Bertha. That's what her name is. She's the big hammer. Big Bertha. It's like just a knot.
Really pieces of wood, man.
It's just a knot, right?
But it's not a 2x4.
No, it's like a 6 or 8 by 2. Well, 1.5. But well, question though, was the second floor originally here?
Some ceiling over there that you can see. That looks like an addition.
Because if this was an outside stud, it might make sense that it's so big.
And I see plumbing. Woo! I'm scoring the drywall so that it has a splitting point, and actually this would be my splitting point probably right here. So if I don't have to take everything out, I have a place to put in a new sheet of drywall.
Try not to. Yeah.
So I'm just kind of giving it a location to tear out from. And sometimes when you score drywall and then you go at it and you break it, it will break where the scoring is. So that's the plan, at least. I make no guarantees.
Especially when it's wet.
Yeah, it's part of the issue is that it is really pretty damp here.
So this leak's been going on a while.
It's possible it's been going on a while and nobody knows.
We did not have a great experience with the home inspector that did the inspection on this house. And yeah, he missed a bunch of things. There were like things that he just wouldn't look at. Like, he wouldn't look at the hot water heater because they had a blanket wrapped around it. It's like, you removed the blanket. Why aren't you just putting your hand in there and ripping it off?
Oh, because I'm not that strong.
It's wet.
There are nails and stuff involved here.
Oh, are there? Okay, never mind then. That's some sturdy drywall though, I gotta say, for being wet.
This is thick drywall. It's like 3/4 inch or something. It's really thick.
It doesn't have to be, but now
Yeah.
to repair it, it will have to be.
This is some thick drywall.
Yeah.
How you doing over here?
Well, we found one cubby hole. It's not the right one.
They didn't have anyone living upstairs, so
They had nobody upstairs?
It was only them, and they lived down here. Okay, we found the definite problem area. There's a distinct difference between removing this drywall and the other. Oh, that probably feels nasty, eh, Ma?
Oh yeah, it's pretty nasty.
I hope not black mold.
Wet is what it is.
Well, that's good as long as it's only wet and not producing black mold.
Cameras would not be able to do that.
No, but I don't see any mold,
You don't see
so
mold
that's a
now.
good thing. Well, like I was saying,
It smells like kind of nastiness, I'll tell you
well,
that.
it's gonna smell like mildew. And the water that's leaking is,
That's a pretty thick pipe there. That must be your bathroom toilet.
yeah, right where you are right now is our toilet. Should be our toilet.
Yeah, but your bathroom was not leaking. That's the weird part.
In full disclosure, this is a reenactment because we're authentic, but you'll have fun.
Fill up the shower. I'll let you know when to turn it loose. I'm just checking the lines over here to see if there's anything over here that might be leaking and filling up the tub.
Did you let the water out of the tub? Okay, now flush the toilet.
All right, flush the toilet. We'll do it twice.
Twice?
Okay, maybe not.
All right. So it's clearly do we need to turn the sink
so I
on?
don't think we need a plumber. I think we need Tim to reseat the toilet and seal it with a wax seal. I really think that that's probably going to do it because it's coming from completely from the floor where the floor connects to it. So that would be the rubber seat.
Probably have to replace part of the floor if it's damaged.
Depends on how long it's
Or
gonna
dry it
be.
out.
Yeah.
If we don't use that toilet for a little bit, it will dry out.
Yeah, and if we
In
leave
other words, we'll pull it out and let it dry out, and then
we have to leave this open too and let this all dry out too because all of this wood needs to dry. The question is, why did the shower leak?
It didn't.
Yeah, but it did when Ryan and I were doing it. Which would make sense.
It must have just been a delay.
Maybe.
Because if you think about it, if they flush the toilet, it would take a while for it to get from there over there. Do we need to test the sink? Because that was another thing that
Yeah.
they were saying.
I did the sink.
You did the sink? When did you do the sink? You did the tub too?
Yeah.
Oh, then the sink didn't leak.
So it's all just, that's weird.
It's,
Where was it coming?
oh, it's pouring out the
Yeah.
seal area.
Let me
Yep.
see.
You want me to go flush the toilet for you?
No.
Why not? It's fun. Good news is we think we don't need to hire a plumber. We're pretty sure that it's just an issue with the seal around the toilet. However, that issue's been going on for a while. Now keep in mind that bathroom is also tile, so to notice like a leak underneath there is probably harder.
Carpet.
Yeah, you would have, well, carpet or
Make
even
sure you
just
clean Bertha off.
laminate, you probably would have noticed it sooner. We're gonna leave this open to dry out entirely. There's no mold. It doesn't look like it's been going on for a super long time, so we shouldn't have to replace any of the wood. Tim is gonna take the toilet out tomorrow in that bathroom. We'll show you guys that. And let it just sit and dry out. And then we'll hope that we can salvage the floor after it dries out, and he'll replace the seal and everything on it. And then we should be good.
And then we'll see
Still
what the drywall
confused.
seals are like.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Still confused on why we think it was the sink and, because it started leaking when the sink and the shower were turned on. But I'm betting you that it had to do with just weird timing because of where it leaked. Because the toilet's over here, the leak was over here in this area. The discrepancy of the time with it draining and getting over there to where it was leaking out must have just been like, that's when they happened to turn the shower on or the sink, and so they thought it was that. We turned on the shower and the sink and nothing happened, so
Yeah.
it's gotta be that.
Which is really weird because we flushed the toilet and nothing happened. We flushed the toilet and nothing happened. But you're right, the timing of going from flushing the toilet over to the sink, the toilet was probably what was exiting when we were playing with those. And we didn't
Yep.
realize it. So,
It's weird though that it traveled all the way over there and that, I mean, it was really wet here.
what?
There must just be a hole in the plaster here.
It's gonna seek its own level.
So the plaster's on an angle,
Uh-huh.
when you go to this location.
Once it starts dripping on this wood, remember, the wood is going to just soak up. And,
Yeah.
And that's what's happening.
And then the more we flushed the toilet, it backed it up to leaking over on that end because now it had an excess of water that couldn't come out
Gotcha.
this hole fast enough. So it went over there and came out over there.
Gotcha.
And we also found what we believe is the heated flooring because as we undid this ceiling, a lot of wire kept coming out. I'm thinking we're gonna have to take all this molding off, take the light out, so it's just the bulb so we don't break this light.
Why?
And remove this ceiling because the way they put the ceiling in is they use 3/4 inch drywall, then they put the wiring across it, and then they mudded this whole ceiling with 1/4 inch of mud.
Oh, so trying to replicate that is going to be near impossible.
Yep. Which explains why they did a crappy job trying to patch any ceiling work over here because that's what they were dealing with, was trying to fill in. Like here,
Yeah.
you can see
They did a really bad job.
you can see this whole thing right here
Uh-huh.
was a repair or an addition or something, and they're trying to get to the height of this material.
Note to self, do as my mother did and tape your heat exchange if you have one on the floor when removing drywall.
Yeah.
Good thinking.
But also, the reason we did this is because we would have just paid a plumber 2 hours to repair the ceiling.
Yeah, for something that we could have done.
It was probably about $300 worth of work we saved.
Need help?
So Tim just took the toilet out and he figured out the issue apparently. What's the problem?
Needs a
Back
wax
up.
ring about that tall instead of that tall. The wax ring never compressed, so it didn't even seal it.
Well, there you go.
I'm surprised that it was this long before we discovered that
So the one we have won't work.
this isn't gonna work now.
We're gonna have to get a taller
Because
one.
this is about as tall as the one that is there.
That one's shorter, it looks like.
What, the one that's on here?
Yeah, I think so.
It's like a month later. Again, because, you know, that's typical around here. It didn't take a month to get the stuff fixed. The seal around the toilet was not correct. It wasn't the right size, or it wasn't the correct height, and it didn't compress, and so therefore there was a leak around the seal. It was not sealed properly. So if you're installing a toilet, make sure you have the right seal to avoid poop seepage through walls and, you know, all the good stuff.
Everything worked out fine. As for the drywall fix, we are gonna hire a professional for that just because, well, this is my mom's house, so she's deciding what she wants to do. But because of the confusion with the wires and having to match, that was like, they have heating in the flooring. It doesn't work anymore, but it was there. And so that's the wiring that you guys saw. They're gonna probably have to rip out the whole thing and replace that whole section, so she's just gonna pay someone to do it. That's what she opted to do. So Ryan would do it on his own. I know he would. Yeah, he's nodding behind the camera. It's fixed. Literally the next day, they left it out, it dried out a little bit. He put the higher ring in there, the seal in there, and the toilet's good to go. Your toilet works, right?
Yeah.
Good. It doesn't leak anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're ending this video like a month later.
And Dad's now coming to use the bathroom.
No, I'm not.
Oh, you're done with
I'm
work?
done working.
Really?
Yeah, Grace.
Wow.
Come on,
Until tomorrow, that is. Until tomorrow. So if you enjoyed this, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button if you're new, and we will see you guys in the next video. Thanks. Thanks.